Welcome back. Well, we've got another fairly dark video. This one is not dark because we're having weather issues. This one is dark because I'm actually filming it pretty late in the day. And there's a reason for that. I have wanted to make this video for a while, but I've been torn. And I was debating with myself all day long if I was going to do it. And finally, I decided yes. So here we go. We are going to start talking about what to do about really difficult customers when we come back. Everyone has their own idea of what a really difficult customer is. For me, I find the ones I consider to be really difficult are people who are irrational. In other words, they're not considering their own best interests, which is to get a successful transaction. So that's my view. Other people have different ideas, and I totally accept this. And I also completely understand that everybody has their own individual breaking point, if you will. The point at which you're not going to listen to anything I have to say about just roll with it, be nice, ignore the problem, be professional, deal with them, and then send them on their way. And I know this because in this particular instance, I didn't follow my own advice. So let me start with, I've been having a lot of postal damage lately. And by lately, I mean the last year. I've spoken with my mail carrier, and she agrees that postal damage is up. In particular, in the post-COVID period. First, we went into lockdown. We had mail carriers who were furloughed off. We had temps, subs, contract carriers taking over for them. And it almost goes without saying that there were going to be more problems and more postal damage under these circumstances. I've had a couple of items that took extended vacations. They were supposed to be in Texas. Meanwhile, they vacationed 2 weeks in New Jersey. I don't even know how that works. But weird things have been happening in the mail. And the thing is, there's always going to be a certain amount of postal damage. That's why I insure my packages. My cutoff point, and I arrived at this cutoff point based on what I was comfortable just sending a refund for, is around $20, $25. If a purchase is more than $20 or $25, I'm not sure which one I'm using. I'll have to check my records. I'll insure it. It's just that simple. It's worth it to me to just be able to send the refund and not worry about it, because that is usually what I do when I am confronted with postal damage. Send me the pictures, I'll send you the refund. The exception, and I will throw this out because there is an exception, is with dolls, because vintage or collectible dolls can always be repaired. I don't care if they're smashed in a million pieces. A doll is a repairable item. So I will always take the doll back and at least try to see if it can be repaired. But I don't sell dolls through Etsy. And my difficult customer that I'm going to share with you was an Etsy customer. So what happened was the customer got an item. It was damaged in the mail. She must know this. She sent me pictures of the crushed box. Insurance paid for it. There was no problem, but she didn't inform me directly. For some reason, she decided the appropriate way to inform me was through the feedback. And so that's how I found out about it, that suddenly my feedback is trashed by someone saying, the item was damaged and I want a refund. Well, that's not how you do it. Ordinarily, when there's a problem, and I say this as advice not just to sellers but to buyers too, you contact the seller, because 9 times out of 10 they're going to make it right without any problem. Yes, there is that 10th time when there's an issue, but 9 times out of 10 you show them a picture of the item. It's like, here you go, look, broken, see the box, because the box is always necessary to prove shipping damage. And it's done. It's a foregone conclusion that you're going to get your refund. But the feedback is what you hold back. You keep that in your corner until you see how they have responded. Because if a seller does not, if it's that 1 in 10 who's like, I don't want to hear about it, I'm not going to give you a refund, then you can just politely remind them you have not yet left feedback for the transaction. Now, yes, this is a tacit threat. There's no 2 ways around it, but there's always a back and forth and a give and take in life, and tacit threats are always there. If you go into Walmart and somebody will not give you a refund, there's always the threat that you're going to bring their manager down. The manager won't like it. The manager will give you the refund, etc. So I would never advise outright threatening someone, you resolve this or I'll trash your feedback. But certainly mentioning that you haven't left feedback yet is usually enough. As I say, tacit. That is from the Latin, and it simply means silent or unspoken. Remember, you want it to be a tacit threat. You don't want it to be an overt threat, because obviously you don't want your relationship with either your buyer or your seller to become adversarial if it's not necessary. So that's why you don't trash someone's feedback before you've even told them there was a problem. You give them a chance to fix the problem, because frankly, things happen. Things go wrong. The post office plays football with our packages sometimes. And like I say, with everything that's going on, postal damage is way up this year, but I can't imagine that's coming as a surprise to anyone, especially with the situations I mentioned before. Contract workers, more subs, especially given the fact that the older postal carriers were furloughed at certain points. So sure, it was almost expected that things were going to go wrong. So what do I do when somebody does something like that? Well, if someone trashes my feedback because the post office damaged their package, I don't argue with them about it. I simply give them their refund, and then I do not sell to them again. They need to go somewhere else. And I've had 2 of them like that this year. One, based on what she says, I've got to believe there's a problem at her local post office, because she purchased an item from me that was clearly just trashed by the post office. And the email she sent me was, well, I don't want to go through all the bother. I'm sick of returning damaged items. That was the key for me. I'm sick of returning damaged items. It's like, oh, well, that leads me to believe that it's her local post office that is having an issue. But regardless, I don't want the item back. Um, Trust me, there's nothing I can do with broken shards of porcelain, even though I do know some of our jewelry fabricators who could do quite a lot with that. If it's broken, it's gone, it's done. I just need the pictures for the insurance. The other one, this was very interesting. She decided to let me know the item had been damaged by, trashing my feedback. Like, my item was damaged, I'd like a refund in the feedback. And I did write to her and say, do you really think that was necessary? You hadn't even contacted me first. Well, apparently she did, because she never responded, even though she got her refund within 24 hours. Again, this is someone who needs to go away. And that's how I deal with difficult customers. I resolve the issue, whatever it is, and then they go on my bad list. Now, eBay makes this very easy with a blocked buyer list. You just put the name of the person into your blocked buyer list. They can't even bid on your items. They can't buy it if it's a buy it now. They're on the bad list. They don't get off. By the way, be very careful with your relationships with doll dealers, because we share our block lists. And I have people on my block list that I've never done business with, but if they've been troublesome for other doll dealers, those doll dealers will share their block list with me, just as I will share mine with them, which is done for self-protection. And frankly, it goes back to the days when there were very few of us doing online sales, and it was just remarkably easy for customers to do inappropriate things. Let's just keep it at that. I don't want to go so far as to say commit fraud, although we had to sort of band together for our own protection to keep them from bouncing from one dealer to another with the same scams. Etsy does not make it that easy. They do, however, make it very easy to cancel sales now. It's like click, cancel, done. So that is my response when somebody simply decides, I'm going to take the hit because the post office damaged their item. It's done. We're not doing business anymore. And I've always felt that this is not just something that protects me, but I need to protect them too. They're clearly dissatisfied with the transaction, so they need to go somewhere else. And by not selling to them, I'm giving them that opportunity. That simple. So, what went wrong with this customer? Well, this is a customer who trashed my feedback because the post office smashed her box. Great, fine. I'm not doing business with her anymore. A month later, she emails me the following. Oh, and by the way, I'm going to post these actual emails so you can see copies of them. I did not take screenshots. I took photographs so that I could edit out any identifying information, but they're all going to be at the end of this video. So, let's see where we are. This is a month later. Her item was damaged June 17th. And this email I received from her out of the blue, July 14th. So it's less than a month after this whole thing has taken place. Dear Sue, I'm trying to reach Jocelyn on her eBay channel to correct a purchase bid I made today for 2 Japanese Adlat figurines. I know a lot about Japanese porcelain. I have no idea what an ADLAT figurine is. Never heard the term before. The prior bid was $11.50, and I was bidding up to $11.75. However, I pushed the wrong button, and now the price is $1,175! Exclamation point. I hope you can help me get word to Jocelyn, or tell me how to contact her to leave a message. Another exclamation point. I would be forever grateful. I miss seeing both of you out thrifting together. Health trumps treasures. Well, there's quite a lot to unpack here. First of all, my last contact with this person is trashing my feedback because the post office broke her item. Okay. And this situation has nothing whatsoever to do with me. It's an eBay issue, and she's writing to me through Etsy, and Jocelyn has a very high social media profile. She's available on eBay. Well, obviously eBay. She has an account with Etsy. She has a YouTube channel. She's on Instagram and Facebook. I don't know if she's on Twitter. But if anybody tells me Jocelyn is hard to contact, they're not trying very hard. So, nothing to do with me, different platform, nothing to do with my Etsy business, not at all. And I don't even have the information I would need, assuming, which is a huge assumption, that I wanted to insert myself into Jocelyn's eBay business, which I do not. I don't have the information I need to do it. Japanese ADLAT figurine, Jocelyn has literally hundreds of listings on eBay. I'm not kidding about that. You go in, even on a slow day, she'll have 80 or 90 listings. So you need the listing number. And that's very simple. They're on all the listings. They're very easy to find. And that's what will take you to that listing. For all I know, now mind you, I don't know what an ADLAT figurine is. Not a clue in the world. The closest I can come is Adla, which is a Swedish word meaning knight, like knight in shining armor. But I doubt that has anything to do with Japanese porcelain. So with this, and of course, I don't know anything about what this buyer's eBay user ID is. As we all know, if you buy on eBay, you have to create an account, and that account is not going to be Mary Smith. Who knows what it's going to be? You know, I've seen all kinds of stuff, ranging from a string of numbers to weird stuff like Pongo's mommy. You know, somebody named their account, I assume, after their dog. So even if I wanted to shove my face in Jocelyn's eBay business, she hasn't given me any information anyway. But not to worry, because she'll settle for Jocelyn's contact information. So hopefully you can start to see why I was beginning to get very ticked off. This is a complete stranger. I believe her to be a woman, but I have no idea. No idea who she is, what she is up to, even if she is a she. She could be an ex-murderer for all I know. She could be stalking Jocelyn. Not a clue in the world. And if she thinks that I'm going to give her Jocelyn's phone number, which is obviously what she's asking for, because, as I say, all the rest of her accounts are wide open for the world to see on social media. Obviously, she's looking for something more than that. Well, she thinks she's going to get that. She needs to go back on her medication, which, by the way, was what my first reaction was when I thought about responding to this. Have you gone off your meds? But no, that's not what I did. I was tempted. What I did write was, are you serious? And as I say, I think that was a restrained response given the absolutely outrageous request that maybe people made requests like that in the 1950s. Well, we're in the 21st century now. You don't ask for a stranger's personal information. You really don't. Jocelyn has children. Everybody knows that. I would consider it outrageous to even think about giving her personal contact information to anyone. I would not even give it to someone I knew to be a friend of hers, because if Jocelyn wanted them to have it, they'd have it. It's that simple. So, are you serious is my response. I get an email back from her. I was, but I figured it out. Thanks. You could have just said no. All right. That's where she really got me. I was in absolutely no mood for this kind of snarky attitude, because I am actually seeing a great deal of attitude in this. When you read it, hey, let me know. Maybe it's just me. I would be willing to write a lot of this off to stupidity, but no, not getting snarky because I'm not going to give you somebody's phone number. Not okay. So keep in mind, I have already made up my mind that I am no longer doing business with this person, so I have no business relationship to protect. But the thing that tripped my switches finally in the final analysis was not the negative feedback she left. As I say, it was the outrageous request that I either stick my face in Jocelyn's business for her, or that I give her Jocelyn's phone number. And that's where I draw the line. So I swatted back. I didn't feel like just swallowing the snark. Once again, remember, this is a do as I say, not as I do. My advice to you is be nice and ignore these people. That is, however, not what I did. Hi, baby. So my response is, I was willing to overlook your rude behavior twice, but I am not willing to overlook it a third time. So allow me to explain. A month ago, you purchased an item from my Etsy shop. It was damaged by the USPS. You know this because you sent me a photo of the damaged box. A reasonable person would have emailed me to let me know there was a problem. And since you just emailed me about an issue with another seller on another platform, we know this is not beyond your very limited capabilities. Instead, however, you trashed my feedback. In the world of online commerce, leaving negative feedback, 1 star out of 5, before you have even advised the seller of the problem is considered bad form, bordering on hostile, especially since the problem was caused by a third party, the USPS. Nevertheless, I still processed your refund within 24 hours. And now you come to me looking for my intervention with Jocelyn, as if you and I have the sort of relationship that would entitle you to expect favors of me. So either you are so frighteningly stupid that you have no idea of the consequences of your actions, or you are so self-absorbed that you think everyone ought to do your bidding in spite of how poorly you treat them. Pick your poison. There is no third option. Considering the foregoing, I imagine you must be thinking that I bear you ill will. Not true. I am offended by your impertinence, appalled by your casual disregard for the potential harm you have caused my business, and I strongly suspect you were raised by wolves. But I bear you no ill will. I wish you a long and productive life, or at least as long and productive as anyone with your complete lack of social awareness can manage. I just wish you to do it far, far away from me. If I have made myself clear, and I'm sure I have, I will not be hearing from you again. That was my response. So, the moral of the story is, even I do not follow my own advice. Just because I tell you, be patient, be polite, it's not personal, don't take it personally, resolve the issue, and then just walk away. I wish I could say I do the same thing. No. I've had times when something has happened that has just struck me as so outrageous, I will not walk away from it. And as I say, when I feel like, someone is threatening someone I care about, give me her phone number. Oh, no, not happening. So that's where we ended up with. But again, this is not something I would advise anyone to do. It's here because, as I've said before, you're going to get it warts and all. This is what I did. This is what happened when I got pushed too far. I don't want to see you get pushed too far, but I do need you to understand we all get pushed too far. It's not just you. When you're looking at a truly difficult customer, when someone's been rude, demanding, they're bringing it out of the professional area and taking it into the personal area, which is what she did. This had nothing to do with me. This was not her business and my business. This is her business with somebody else that she's dropping on my doorstep. When they do that, yeah, I get it. I understand why you want to fight back. My advice is don't, but my own reaction was, yeah, I'm not going to deal with it. So I just wanted you to see that we are all vulnerable to this. We can all lose our tempers. We all look at these issues from time to time and say, no, I can't deal with this. That's all there is to it. And I'm just going to put them in their place. I don't know if this customer was acting the way she was acting because she is an entitled witch. That, of course, is my suspicion, that she simply thinks everybody ought to do whatever she wants, regardless of how outrageous her request, or because she really is such a complete freaking idiot that she thinks this sort of behavior is perfectly reasonable and okay. As I said in my letter, I don't care what she is. Just do it away from me. Just take it somewhere else. So, throwing it out, as I say, just want you to see, I'm as human as the next guy. I lose my temper too. All right. I'm following this is going to be the pictures of that correspondence, and then we're going to take our little moment of zen, look at our beautiful little horizon shots, and I will see you all tomorrow. Have a great day.